President Donald Trump is touting a successful trip to Japan, highlighting security and economic agreements as his visit draws to a close. On one of his final stops before departing on Wednesday, he addressed American service members aboard the USS George Washington, framing the day as a show of Allied strength and unity. Trump also met in Tokyo with Japan's new Prime Minister Ina Takeuchi earlier in the day. The two leaders signed an agreement on critical minerals and rare earths, underscoring a shared intent to secure supply chains that both governments say are too dependent on China. Throughout the visit, each leader praised the other, calling their partnership a cornerstone of regional stability. Coverage of the trip focused on the increasingly close ties between Washington and Tokyo and the implications for defense, trade, and China policy. Senior White House correspondent Kristen Holmes noted that the warm tone was expected. Given Takeuchi's political lineage and the Trump-Abe relationship during Trump's first term, Trump has often described the late former Prime Minister Shinzo Abe as one of his closest friends on the world stage, a notable distinction from his typically limited personal rapport with other leaders during that period. Today's events echoed that history. Trump praised both Abe and Takeuchi and declared confidence in a great relationship, while emphasizing the strength of the US-Japan alliance. On defense, Trump announced that the United States had approved and begun delivering the first batch of air-to-air missiles for Japan's F-35 fleet. He said some of the missiles arrived with his delegation, described them as the best in the world, and told Takeuchi they were arriving ahead of schedule. He cast the delivery as an example of rapid Allied coordination and a signal of deterrence at a time of heightened regional competition. The two governments also reiterated support for a free and open Indo-Pacific, a phrase that has become central to their joint strategy. The statement implicitly rejected sweeping maritime claims by China and reinforced the view that key sea lanes are not the sovereign territory of any single nation. The leaders' rare earths and critical minerals deal was presented as part of the same effort to reduce strategic vulnerabilities and strengthen industrial resilience for next-generation technologies. Beijing responded quickly. A spokesperson for China's foreign ministry urged Japan to respect the security concerns of neighboring countries, a comment widely read as a warning against steps that Beijing sees as aimed at containment. Analysts observed that the Chinese statement was consistent with Trump's intent to demonstrate Allied resolve before his upcoming meeting with China's President Xi. Reporting from Tokyo, Hanako Montgomery said the visit was watched closely in Japan as a test of personal chemistry between the new Prime Minister and Trump. By that measure, the day delivered during their first bilateral summit on Tuesday. The two leaders exchanged compliments and emphasized shared goals. The optics continued at Yokosuka Naval Base, where Takeuchi joined Trump aboard Marine One, an unusual move for a foreign leader, underscoring the closeness both sides wanted to project. At Yokosuka, both leaders addressed troops and spoke about deepening ties in the months and years ahead. Takeuchi said Japan and the United States would sail together to maintain a free and open sea, and predicted that solidarity from places like Yokosuka would make the bond stronger and stronger, guiding the countries toward a shining future. In a moment that drew attention on social media, Trump called Takeuchi a formidable and history-making leader as Japan's first female prime minister. Takeuchi responded playfully, raising a fist and spinning, a gesture that played into the day's upbeat, highly choreographed imagery. Economic announcements complemented the security messages. Trump said Toyota, Japan's largest automaker, planned to expand manufacturing with additional factories, with total investment on the order of $10 billion. He framed the commitment as a direct boost to jobs and a sign that Japan's corporate champions would deepen their American footprint alongside the alliance's security upgrades. The broadcast then turned to analysis with Shigeto Nagai, head of Japan economics at Oxford Economics. He argued that Takeuchi is likely to leverage the personal rapport with Trump to strengthen her position at home, where she still faces internal party dynamics and pressure from conservative voters. Presenting herself as the political heir to Abe, he said, could help solidify support among right-leaning factions and give her space to pursue a proactive fiscal agenda aimed at strategic investment in national security and key industries. Nagai added that Trump's pressure, combined with the promise of closer ties, could provide Takeuchi with cover to move faster on defense build-up and industrial policy. However, He warned that Japan's fiscal sustainability remains a concern, even as proactive spending could stimulate growth. Market sensitivity to debt dynamics has increased, and investors will watch closely how her government balances ambition with credibility. The conversation also addressed, tariffs that could weigh on Japan's auto sector, while Takeuchi's policies might support the broader economy. Nagai said, tariff uncertainty complicates planning for manufacturers. Policymakers will need to manage those risks, even as they push for deeper strategic alignment with Washington. Another theme was Japan's previously stated commitment to invest $550 billion in the United States across sectors such as semiconductors, shipbuilding, and critical minerals, investments framed as advancing American manufacturing and national security. For Japan, Nagai described the arrangement as potentially synergistic, a large capital exporter seeking productive opportunities abroad, paired with a economy looking to finance a sizable current account deficit and rebuild industrial capacity. Still, he noted domestic concerns in Tokyo about how much funding will ultimately be requested, which projects will be prioritized, and whether decisions will be made with sufficient consultation to ensure commercial viability. As Trump's trip nears its conclusion, the headline is the same across defense and economics. The Japan alliance is not only intact, but expanding. The missile deliveries, the critical minerals pact, the rhetorical alignment on a free and open Indo-Pacific, and the promise of major corporate investment collectively project momentum. For Takeuchi, the visit showcased international stature and continuity with Abe's strategic vision. For Trump, it offered an image of allied unity and industrial resurgence. Both capitals now face the task of translating warm optics and signed communiques into durable policies that can withstand domestic politics, fiscal constraints, and rising regional tensions.